So guess what, awesome ones? After reading tons of reviews on self-tanning lotions and creams and how to get a realistic looking tan without, all those messy streaks, I finally got my tan. Woohoo! I can't wait to show you all the steps, and it all starts in just a few seconds. And if you're enjoying videos like this and also on makeup and fashion and self-care and skincare, I would love for you to subscribe and join our awesome community here. And also don't forget that every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at amazon.com/shop/awesomeover50, right at the top of the page, I will have my live event. And again, it's all on those kind of subjects as well, fashion and makeup and self-care. And I would love for you to join me. And if you can't make it, the reruns are there at the top of the page now too. So whether you're planning to go to a special event, or maybe you just want a soft tan glow without baking in the sun, this is a perfect video for you. And I also think I'm kind of a perfect candidate because I'm usually very pale. I do have the product on me right now. And what I really liked about this product that I'm using, and I'm going to show you the supplies in just a second, is it didn't go on streaky, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm really happy with what I achieved. So let's start with my supplies, because I really studied what to use and what were the best supplies, starting with the Saint Tropez Self-Tanning Mousse. And it's so easy to use, especially when I bought the Saint Tropez mitt to put the application on. And also, what you have to do before you do anything is you need to exfoliate. And I did a real study on these little mitts here, and they were great for exfoliation, and great reviews on those as well. Also, I needed to have a moisturizer, and also I needed to have a bronzer for my face. Now, all of these products I'm going to be talking about, but I'm also going to link them below the description of this video and also in the comments. And by the way, give yourself about 4 or 5 days before a big event. Don't do it the night before. All right, so the first thing that I did was I needed to exfoliate with these little mitts here. And what I did was I went in the shower. They've got some great instructions there, but I went in the shower and I had to stay in the shower for about 20 minutes just to let my skin really moisturize. And then I just started with circular motions all over my arms, my chest, my legs, everywhere where I wanted to have the tanning lotion put on. And it's so important that you do exfoliate, because if you don't, you're going to have blotches everywhere. And this is really removing all the dead skin, especially around our ankles and, some place where we really don't think about that. And also what I didn't put a moisture on that night. What I did was I just went to sleep and let my exfoliated skin breathe a little. So on day 2, I shaved my legs and I shaved my underarms, and I just again let my skin just breathe overnight. Now day 3, that's where the real magic begins. And what you want to do is pick a day where you got the whole day to devote to it. I decided to start this at noon on a Sunday. And basically once I put, I'm going to show you in a minute how I applied everything, but once I put the Saint Tropez on the, on the mitt and then on my body, it had to sit for about 8 hours. So that's really important. And I just sort of ran around the house in shorts and a little top. And now, of course, you want to shower in the evening, but make sure that the water is warm and you're not doing any scrubbing or anything like that. And also what I did when I toweled off is I just used an old towel that's beige. I didn't want to use my white one. So and I found that that night when I went to bed, there was no transfer on the sheets at all. So I was really, really happy about that. So now I'm going to show you some of the steps that I took in applying the tanning lotion, the self-tanning lotion. So let's take a look at the process and also the before and the after. And what I started with was I put the mitt on and a couple of squirts at the Saint Tropez, and I kind of blended it in the mitt there. And here I go for the arms, just very, very carefully covering all spots down to about my wrist. So I just want to go down to about the wrist with this, and yeah, kind of circular or straight motions with this is really the best way to do it. Now, for the next step, I only want one squirt for my chest. I've already done my other arm, so just one squirt because I don't want this too heavy looking. And again, I'm just trying to go for a really, really nice glow, and I'm using the circular motions and a little bit into my back as well. So we've got to make sure that we get all those little spots under the arms and all over the place. Now I'm switching the mitt around because I have to do, that part of my back and then the other part of my back. And of course, if you've got somebody to help you out, this would be a great time to call them in for some help. And yeah, I think that's it. Now I've got another little squirt here where I'm going to do my hands, and I just kind of make my hand a little bit like a claw. It doesn't matter if I'm putting a little bit too much on there, because what I'm going to do is turn the mitt around and just kind of wipe off any excess. Now our knuckles and a lot of other places on our hands are going to look a little darker, so I'm just taking an old wet cloth or an old rag and rubbing along the knuckles and making sure I get all that darkness off of there, because you really want to look right. Now here's my white legs. Da, 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 da. I just put a couple of squirts there, and I'm doing the streak from the bottom right around the feet all the way up, and that's going to give me that little bit of a glow that I really, really want. And you can see it's not going on streaky. It's absolutely lovely. Now, here's the after, and you can really see, well, you know what? Let's show a before and an after because it's a lot easier to tell the difference. And you can really, really see the difference. One is glowy and one is, well, rather pale. And the same with my before and after. And I'm really, really loving this. Now on day 4, it's really, really important that you go over any spots that you have missed. And I was surprised, I missed some spots under my underarms and, inside my arms. And I was really, really surprised at how well, the mousse really, really blended in with the tan the day before. So it's very, very important that you do that. Now on day 5, it's okay to use a moisturizer, and I use the Aveeno moisturizer because these tanning lotions are very, very drying for your skin. So it's time for us to start putting on the moisturizer. Now, since I did this on a Sunday, and then the other days afterwards, this would be perfect for an event on the Saturday. And I think the tan, it takes a while to settle in. And well, let's take a look at an outfit that I would wear with my new, I'm not going to call it a tan, but it's just a beautiful sun-kissed glow. So here I am feeling a little more confident without my really pale legs and arms, and this would be great for going to a fancy dinner or a lovely outdoor get-together. Now you notice that I didn't self-tan my face, and there's a good reason for that. I didn't want to really exfoliate my skin and also apply the mousse to my face, so I decided to go with a really good bronzer, and I found it with Estee Lauder, and this is called Bronze Goddess, and you get a lot with it as well. And my color was 0 to medium, so let's just see how I applied that to my basic foundation. Now, I don't have the bronzer on yet, so let's go ahead. I'm using a large brush here, like a blush brush, and taking off any excess, and then just applying it as, again, a little bit of a sun-kissed glow. Forehead. Don't forget to do your neck as well. That's really, really important because you want to bring down the color a little bit. And when I feel that I've done that, it's time for the contouring. I've got my contour brush here to go ahead and contour around my cheekbones, and also I will want to do my jowls. I hate that word, but I gotta do them. And also, you know, I've told you before that your nose grows as you get older, so I'm going to just go down the side of my nose again with a little bit of contouring here, and there we go. Now, my next step, I want a little bit of a highlighter, a nice glow, so I'm using the Maybelline Master Chrome number 100 just to give me that. Now, my makeup doesn't have to be a perfect match to my arms or to my chest, and I think that this really worked out just fine. And I must say, I really, really love the Saint Tropez mousse. It's my first time self-tanning, if you can believe it, and I'm just so happy with the results. And I know these days wearing, you know, skin-colored pantyhose, it's really, really old-fashioned, and also I would still want to do something about my really pale arms. Now, I know that both my daughters have really embraced their pale skin, but somehow for me, I still want kind of a sun-kissed glow, of course, without baking in the sun for hours under all those damaging rays these days. And, you know, it just gives me a little more confidence, I must say, especially if I'm going to a special event where I'm checking my look in the mirror, feeling good, and also keeping it awesome.